What's up, everyone? Welcome to another goddamn Q&A, another edition, episode 1775. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's episode 140 something or 50. I don't know if we made it to 150 though. I'll have to check. I hope you guys are having a great weekend or Monday, if it's already Monday where you live. Where do you live? Where do you guys live? Where are you guys from? I know most of you are from like the US or Brazil or Timbuktu, planet Mars, you know, and Andromeda, all those fucking galaxies, you know. Yeah, me, I'm from planet Venus, where all the beautiful ladies reside. That's why I'm such a happy man, and I'm here to take on your damn questions every Sunday. It's how I'm able to take it. So where are you from, guys? Philippines? London? Alright. UK and Philippines. I know I have a lot of fans. Texas! Well, your family's from Jalisco. Interesting. Also, another guy from the USA. Philippines, another USA guy. Just say USA. I want to know your country, not your city. Nobody cares about your city. Mexico City. So Mexico. What country you're from? What country you're from? They speak English in city? Just kidding, guys. Just say wherever you are, even if I don't know. Like, I'm from the city of Victorian. What? Victorian. I mean Victoria, right? No, Victorian. Great. Where's that? Oh, in Switzerland. Oh, okay. And say Switzerland. What's up, guys? Do you guys have any questions for me today? Why is this happening? Oh, there we go. Just took a bit to change songs. Now you can see the... I want a poster or a fucking painting or something in this area. What should I do? What should I get? I need to get something. I just don't know what. Maybe I should put something like a wallpaper here. But then people are gonna be asking, so what? Why is that there? Oh no, let's not do that. Put up a guitar there. My guitar is right here next to me. I need it next to me so I can pick up and play, you know. I only have one guitar, and if I put it there, you know, I'm gonna have to like get up there and grab it every time I want to play it. And I play every single night for at least half an hour, so I need my guitar to be right next to me. Can't put a guitar there. It's gonna have to be a poster or something. What is the meaning of today? What's the meaning of today? The meaning of this? What's the meaning of why? What is the meaning of anything? What's the meaning of life? What is the meaning? What's the point of it all? PG4 OST or PE5 Royal OST? Persona Music. I'm tired of repeating myself. Persona Music is protected by evil copyright from the evil company Atlus and the evil composers. Okay, I can't play anything from Persona. Any Persona game, not even the second one. Have you heard Sony is getting a new Japanese CEO? Do you think this will be better for Sony's future? Depends on what kind of person the CEO is, don't you think? A Pollock. There, I'm gonna put a painting. I want a painting, but it's just painting costs a lot. So I'm gonna just get a poster or something. Or maybe a couple of posters. I need more posters in this house. They're cheap. And I have a way to like pin them without damaging them too much, so I can do that. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, you're not asking me to play. Which OST I prefer? I think I prefer Persona 5, the music. But, you know, I prefer the original. I beat the original games. I don't know if the Golden Edition of 4 and Royal Edition of 5 have new music. They probably do. So I played the originals, beat the originals, and I like the original soundtracks a lot. But I think I'm gonna go with 5. Definitely. Sony HQ needs to get out of the US and back to Japan, says Gamer for Life. Hey David. What's the best Atelier game on the PS Vita? So on the PS Vita you get a lot. You get like 9 or 10, right? Jesus Christ, man. So you got the Arlen Trilogy, you got the Dusk Trilogy, and just like 1 or 2 of the Mysterious Trilogy. The Mysterious Trilogy has Sophie, Firis, and Lydie and Suelle. But Lydie and Suelle is not on the PS Vita, I think. So that leaves me with Shally. Shally is definitely the best one on the PS Vita, in my humble opinion. What's up, Yum Yum? What did you end up thinking of Dragon Force? I fucking loved it. Those 2 hours left me with a pretty good taste in my mouth. I'm definitely gonna keep playing that. Right now, I just beat last night, exactly at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. I beat Skies of Arcadia Legends on the GameCube. Rumor has it that Sega has what's the term? Re-registered or something, the Skies of Arcadia trademark. We've seen companies doing this before. That does not necessarily mean the game is getting a remaster or remake. It just means that Sega wants to continue to protect the Skies of Arcadia copyright, okay? It doesn't mean anything, but whenever that happens, people tend to think that the company is planning some kind of remaster or remake or port or something, right? And it usually turns out to be true. I remember when Square Enix did the same with Legend of Mana, and everybody was like, oh, what are they gonna do with Legend of Mana? A remaster? A remake? Probably nothing. And a year later, Legend of Mana Remaster announced. I'll never forget that. Same with the Persona games, Persona 3 and 4. Atlus kind of did something with the trademark of the games, and then voila, remaster. So, but it doesn't always happen. I don't want to give you guys any hope. It's just there are rumors that we might get a Skies of Arcadia remaster. I don't really care about that because it's Sega, so they're probably gonna alter and censor their own stupid game, you know? So I'm happy that I beat the Legends version on the GameCube last night. You can expect a review of it coming soon. Is it going to have its own video review? I haven't decided. Is it gonna be in a top 5 or top 10 or something? You'll see. I need to talk about that fucking game. So you'll get a review in one way or another. This is from Caladrius Blaze. Great shoot 'em up on PS4, Switch, Steam, Google Stadia. Do you think a lock stat is needed in JRPG games, or is it pointless? I think it's very important for games like, say, Shin Megami Tensei. I am playing Shin Megami Tensei 4. Since I beat Skies of Arcadia Legends, I went back to Shin Megami Tensei 4. You see, I'm a man of my word. I'm fulfilling my promises. Games that I abandoned many, many years ago and that I promised I will go back to. This is my New Year's resolution. Okay? I said this before, but I'm gonna try to play more games, more RPGs that I abandoned a million years ago. I'm gonna play them again, give them a second chance. So I gave Skies of Arcadia a second chance and I beat it last night. I'm giving Shin Megami Tensei 4, original game, a second chance. I'm 3 hours and a half in today, so we'll see how that goes, you know. So the lock stat, I think it's important in a lot of games. I mean, usually it's kind of pointless because the lock stat is pretty I mean, it's basically based on RNG. Okay, and we know a lot of JRPGs have crappy RNG or annoying RNG. Speaking of Skies of Arcadia. But there's a lot of JRPGs that are like super hard, like the Shin Megami Tensei series, and I think if you have an extra possibility of dodging an attack or starting on the first turn, something like that, you know, I think the lock stat is important. The lock stat also carries over stuff like finding items. In some JRPGs about finding items or getting more money or getting stuff like that, so it's useful. I wouldn't say it's pointless. It may feel or be kind of pointless in some JRPGs, but in most of them it's important. Like, how important though? Is it one of the most important stats? In most JRPGs it isn't, you know, but in games like SMT, I think it is like one of the most important stats. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's pointless or irrelevant. It's an important stat, you know. It's important, especially when it's tied to agility. You know, like what I was saying, like evasion rate, dodge rate, you know. If increasing the lock stat will increase your dodge rate, then yeah, hell yeah, it's important, dude. Good question. What's the big difference between the Dreamcast and GameCube version of Skies of Arcadia? The big difference is, it's a huge fucking difference. Okay, the Skies of Arcadia, the GameCube version has less encounter rate. You get less random encounters, thankfully, and it lets you navigate in peace most of the time. You still do get a lot of them, you know, but the Dreamcast version, I've played it and man, it's painful. Play the GameCube version instead. Also, that version has slightly improved graphics. The difference is not that noticeable, you know, but it's noticeable if you know about graphics, if you know your way around graphics, and you can tell frame rate and resolution and colors and shit like I do. You can notice. Oh, and there was a side quest in the Dreamcast version that was removed for the GameCube version because it was like a pain in the ass to do. So they got rid of that. So they trimmed that thing, that quest. So that might be a problem for some of you, but I still think the GameCube version is like far better than the Dreamcast version. That's just my opinion. In my humble opinion. Your Vita video a while back is my basis on my collection. Which one? Oh, is your top 10 Vita games still worth keeping if you do not need the rest of the Vita catalog? Okay, I don't know which Vita video you mean because I've done like 10 PS Vita videos. But is your top 10 Vita games still worth keeping if you do not need the rest of the Vita catalog? I think it's worth keeping because the Vita games are usually rare and expensive. Usually the PS Vita version of this or that game is the rare one, expensive. There are some exceptions. Lost Dimension, for example, the PS3 version is far more rare and expensive than the PS Vita version. Same with, I think, what was this other game that I checked this out the other day and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe the PS Vita version is cheaper. Oh, Uta Wareru Mono, you know, the Mask of Deception. PS4 version is more expensive. But 9 out of 10 cases, PS Vita versions are more rare and expensive and hard to find, you know? So yeah, definitely worth keeping your PS Vita collection, man. Don't get rid of it. That's what I will do. Do you still make decent income from YouTube? Oh man, fun questions. Me making decent revenue from YouTube nowadays, or Twitch. You made my day, man. I have reviewed Shin Megami Tensei 3, not in a video, but I've talked about that game a million times, man. I'm surprised you're asking what are my thoughts about it. I think, in a nutshell, I'll be quick. I'm a big fan. I love the game. I love the remaster. I have a huge history with the game. You know, I rage quit on the original PS2 version a long time ago, and then the remaster saved the day. Love the remaster. I think it's a great game. It's a little bit short of being a masterpiece. Everybody calls it a masterpiece. Not me, because these people apparently cannot accept that the game has its problems, its huge fucking problems, you know? It's a great game nonetheless. It's super hard, but there's a way around it with the remaster. You can download for free the Merciful mode and grind on Merciful mode and then go back to normal for the bosses. That's what I did, and it was a lot of fun. Great game. Fantastic music. Has anybody called me UNC? I don't know what that is, man. You hated the English translation. Who didn't? Oh, that too, Ryan. That's right. There are a little bit more discoveries in the GameCube version. I think it's got more content. Overall, it's the best version of it to play. Do you like that some JRPGs give experience to everyone, even those that don't use? Oh yeah, I love that feature, man. I've been bitching about this. In fact, one of the reasons why I hated games like Shining Resonance Refrain, well, I have a love-hate relationship with that game. Is that your inactive party members do not gain experience. I hated that. I think when it comes to JRPGs, every single one of them needs to be the same. Everybody needs to get the experience. Everybody. Which game do you predict will be better, Penny Blood or Armed Fantasia? I'm thinking Penny Blood, but I don't know. I don't know which game is going to be better, but I'm a bigger fan of the Shadow Hearts franchise than the Wild Arms franchise. So my expectations are higher on Penny Blood than the other way around. I just hope, nobody forces these developers to insert woke bullshit. Unfortunately, RC lost 3. That's the truth right there. I don't think it's ever going away, ever, But maybe eventually we can find some balance, Wokeness needs to die in a corporate level. Or needs to be balanced, We need a lot of corporations doing regular stuff with no politics involved again. And triumph. Because nowadays everything is controlled by those fucking assholes and evil mafias and shit. So, yeah. Thanks for the super chat, Mystery Kid. Thank you, Anon. It is what it is, man. That's what you get for opening your mouth in a website controlled by the woke. For being a loudmouth, for being an asshole, an honest asshole. That's what I get. Onk is short for uncle. Oh, okay. Younger people calling people above 25 old. Nothing new. It's because they like anime. I don't know. No one's ever called me uncle, I think. I lost Odyssey, hopefully one day on PS5. Maybe. Anything can happen. Which Steelbook edition do you have of Shining Resonance Refrain? That the PS4 or the Switch version? I'd say if you have the Switch version, keep it. Oh, keep that version, man. Yeah. Now you got rid of a lot of Switch games, and I told you not to, and you still ended up doing that. If you don't need to sell something from your collection, don't. Keep it there. I recently sold some games that I had in my collection that I didn't want, and that I don't care. I never want them back in my collection because they have woke bullshit, But I also sold a couple of games that I already have twice. So if you have 2 copies of Shining Resonance Refrain, sure, sell one of them, But if you only have one, I'd say keep it, Let me tell you something about the Shining series. There's never been one that is, relatively cheap. I think all Shining games are expensive, so I can guarantee you Resonance Refrain is gonna be, rare in, 5 or 10 years. Especially the Switch version, so keep that. Well, we'll see what happens, Lord Kaiser. I know we got the axe here in Mexico. Thank you, Ryan. PS4 of SMT3. You can buy both if you want to, for the sake of collecting, because both versions sell for like $15 nowadays. I have both. I have the PS2 version and PS4 version. So buy both. But the one that I recommend playing is the remaster on PS4. What's the most obscure but underrated PS2 JRPG to you? I've watched all of your videos, so give me a deep cut. Really? You've watched all of my videos and you didn't watch the a specific video called Top 10 Criminally Underrated PS2 JRPGs and you missed number 1 in there? Will you buy the Switch 2? Nah. Did you try the Romancing Saga 2 remake? Nah. I don't play anything from Square Enix nowadays. What's the most expensive Shining game? Probably Shining Force CD on the Sega CD. That, oh no, wait a second. Shining Force on the Sega Saturn is probably more expensive. I don't know which one is more expensive. It's either one of those two. You got Shining the Holy Ark also on the Sega Saturn. That's like the Holy Trinity of expensive and rare Shining games. Shining Force CD, Shining Force 3, and Shining the Holy Ark. Those 3 games, I'm guessing either of those 3. You can check it up on price charting if you want to. I agree with that, Mystery Kid. In a game, instead of the mature rating, warning! This game has woke content! Stay away from it! I agree. You had to sell a few games because of an emergency. I've never been in an emergency, but I have been in situations where I wanted to... I don't want to get into that story. But I've been there. Not in an emergency, but I've been in need of selling games, and I did a lot of stupid things in the past, and let's not talk about that. Oh, that's great, man. You have Bee Simulation, Cozy Grove, Train Your Dragon. That's a great collection, man. Especially Bee Simulation. I'm sure that's a masterpiece worth keeping. Do you tend to prefer the original versions of JRPGs than their remasters? Nowadays I kind of do, because a lot of remasters and remakes are getting destroyed by politics, so yeah, nowadays I do. It didn't used to be like this, you know, but nowadays I do. Who is your favorite fighting game character? I answered that question a couple of streams ago. I feel like I answered this recently, you know. It was like Noel Vermilion, Sector from Mortal Kombat, the retro ones. I got Kami from Street Fighter, and Chun-Li. Milia Rage. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. I can't choose one. I do own Xenosaga 3 on PS2, the normal version. I do not own the lenticular cover version, which is twice the price. Brett says, I'm wondering if I will see game prices spike in the next few days because of tariffs, even on Amazon and eBay as the market adjusts to foreign sites getting hit. Maybe, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing now. We'll see what happens. I'm not big into collecting anymore. I kind of gave up. But, yeah, that's an interesting thought. I don't think physical is on its way out. Definitely not. That's right, Hero. DVD. I don't know any news on latest news on Penny Bluff, but it's still being released. It will probably be released this year. That's my assumption, but I don't know anything about it. The last thing I heard is that the developers had sued Kickstarter because they wouldn't pay them some money, that they got from the funding, something like that. So they currently, my guess is they are still in a lawsuit or trying to settle with Kickstarter. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think the game is going to be released. If you were to choose, where would you rather go? Raccoon City or Silent Hill? Oh, great! Great. What would you rather eat? Dog shit or cat shit? Tough question, man. Maybe I think I will go to Raccoon City. Because you can, I don't know, Silent Hill, you got all these fucking monsters in the dark, and it's just, it feels more dangerous. I don't know. I love the first Silent Hill. Man, I've beaten that game like 3 times. Silent Hill, the original PS1 game. Man, super scary, fucked up video game. Have you seen the new Compile Hard game, Scarlet Salvation? I don't really care about Compile Hard anymore because they've gone woke, so fuck them. Their last game, which was Fairy Fencer 2, was horrible, so I don't care about that company anymore. Nice trolling, Disney fan. Have you seen the Sakuna of Rise and Ruin anime? No? I know the game, of course, but I haven't seen the anime. What other RPG do you think should get an anime adaptation? None. I don't really like it with games. When games get anime adaptations, unless the anime adaptation is something different, But if it's the same story, it's like, what's the point? I'd rather play the game. You know what I mean? I don't really care for anime adaptations of games. 90s JRPGs are too hard for centennials, or technology improvement made them lazier. I think there's still a lot of super hard games nowadays. It's just a different type of difficulty. NES difficulty is different from PS4 difficulty, It's just different. Because while modern games are still very difficult, they also give you a lot of tools and quality of life improvements and features, that they don't necessarily make the games easier, but they make them less frustrating. And NES hard was NES hard, You die, it's back to the fucking beginning of the stage. 2 continues, So it's just harder in that way, in that area. But I think modern games are just as hard, it's just the difficulty is a bit different. Thank you, Joseph. That's right, Tiro. No, I do not agree, Donsk. No, Sean, but that's a good example. Souls games are very difficult, but the difficulty is better, it's like different. I'm not saying Dark Souls is harder than Ninja Gaiden or vice versa, I'm just saying the difficulty in both games is like very different. It's a different type of difficulty. It's like comparing the difficulty of Tactics Ogre to the one on Ys 3, the Odin Felghana. It's like the four super hard, but like it's different, hard to compare. We got a huge generational gap between Ninja Gaiden or any NES games than Souls games. It's just like different. For starters, Ninja Gaiden is a side-scroller and Dark Souls is an action RPG, so the difficulty is better, not just when it comes to video game genres, but also video game generations. Like, NES games didn't have quality of life improvements, and Dark Souls does, When you adapt a JRPG into an anime, it feels like a cash grab. Basically, yeah. It basically feels like they're milking the name of the game. Though it's weird that something like Sakuna of Rise and Ruin will get an anime adaptation. That's such an obscure game. Why? Is the game that really that successful? Is the game popular even? Why would you make an anime adaptation based on an obscure game? I don't get it. That's when in game situations like those, that's when you're like, why? I mean, is this really a cash grab? Why will they do that? And then there's something like Nier Automata happens, that's a cash grab, or Persona, but Sakuna, why would, imagine, let's just do an anime adaptation of Undernauts. I bet not a single one of you knows that game, which proves my point. It's just weird. I don't know why they did an anime adaptation on Sakuna of Rise and Ruin. Do you think we'll ever get a remake of Paladin's Quest? I don't think there's enough demand, but who knows? We've gotten a lot of remakes and remasters of really obscure games and anime adaptations of obscure games, so anything can happen nowadays. I haven't beaten Paladin's Quest. It's in the backlog. That's a spoiler question, Melphis. Who are my Trails waifus? Really? You don't know at this point? Everybody knows at this point. Anybody can answer that question for me, I'm pretty sure. They're Dunsk. I already answered that. Sakuna was surprisingly popular? I don't think it was. It could be Eka. That Suikoden name isn't selling that much because it's less Western. But I think Suikoden nowadays is pretty popular. I mean, there's a lot of anticipation for the remasters. There was a lot of anticipation for Eiyuden Chronicle, so I think it's famous enough. It's made a name of itself worldwide with Japanese name, so... What do you think of the Musou genre? I think it's good. It isn't that abused as a Souls-like or a roguelike, especially roguelike or Metroidvania. Those three seem to be like, stop milking those fucking genres. Musou is like they try to milk it at some point during the early PS4 Switch days, Like it seemed back then like every major JRPG franchise wanted to do one, and most of them turned them into action RPGs, which turned out to be great. Dragon Quest did it. Persona did it. I'm surprised Final Fantasy never did it. What else? Zelda did it. Atelier, no, they didn't do it. It was like Warriors All Stars. That's different. But yeah, I feel like I'm missing one. Uta Wareru Mono fucking did it. I like Musou. But I like it when they're like action RPGs, Like I'm not really a fan of the Dynasty Warriors series. I played the second one on the PS2 a long time ago and I beat it. And after beating the game, I was like, you know what? I'm not really a fan of this genre. It's just too heavy on the hands. You button mash a lot. But when they make them into RPGs like Persona 5 Strikers or Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, you gotta get a break away from that. It's like an RPG now. You got your RPG enemy things, and mechanics and stuff like that. So it makes it more fun. But Dynasty Warrior seems like 90% action and combat, and you get tired. Fire Emblem also did it, by the way. Fire Emblem Warriors. I only played the first one, and it was like, okay. Never played the second one. Yeah, so I think I like the genre. It's not one of my favorite genres, but I like it. And I like that most RPG, most of the ones that I played based on famous RPG franchises were great. I also played the Hyrule Warriors, the first one on the Wii U, and it was alright. Is Unicorn Overlord okay if you played in Japanese with English text? Yeah, why wouldn't it be? I think, yeah. Actually, that's what I'm planning on. I played that game with Japanese text, actually, Japanese dub. What do you mean, what is up? They're coming in April, right? Most 3D platformer for you. I'm not really a fan of 3D platformers, man. I prefer 2D platformers, but if I'm gonna have to choose, I guess I'll go with Alice Madness Returns. PS3. That's the one that I beat. I know it's also on 360. So that's my pick. Okay, Eka. Okay. Which... Oh, okay, I was trying to understand the questions. Which aspect of JRPGs do you think is more in need of an upgrade slash revolution? Storytelling or combat? Definitely storytelling. First of all, it needs to get rid of agendas. And secondly, it needs to become something more... I'd say mature. Because in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, you know, we got a crap ton of the same plot, the same recycled cliches and the same plot. You know, the little kids with the power of friendship saving the world and fighting God. We already got a lot of that, you know. So I think we need more different games, you know, different storytelling. We need more Nier, for example. We need more Code Vein. We need more Parasite Eve. Or you know what? They don't necessarily need to get darker or more mature. Just a different type of storytelling. I also believe stories need to be more oriented to adults nowadays, you know? Because while JRPGs still cater to a lot of teenagers, especially in Japan, most JRPGs worldwide cater a little bit more to adults nowadays because we grew up with them, because a lot of us come from the PS1, PS2 era, or even SNES era, you know, so we played a crap ton of the same games. So playing nowadays a PS5 JRPG with 17-year-old kids saving the world with power of friendship and fighting God and whatnot, you know, we're tired of that. I'm personally tired of that. It's like, I'm fucking sick of that, you know. So if we could get something more mature oriented, not necessarily dark, you know, it can be just a working environment for characters instead of a high school environment, or like the kids belonging to a mercenary group and going into an adventure. You know, we've seen that a million times already. So I think storytelling needs some kind of revolution, but it's gonna be hard to do that revolution because everything is infested with politics and social division nowadays that it's gonna be hard to revolutionize storytelling without making a point for either side, in favor of either side, you know. So, but either way, you know, even that I'm not gonna support that, you know. But even that would mean a revolution. Even that would mean a change, you know, to focus into something else rather than the same old fucking cliches we've seen for 3 decades or more, you know. Definitely storytelling in JRPGs needs some kind of revolution, some kind of... just go into a different direction now. Start focusing your stories in something that we haven't seen before. Whether it's dark or not, or edgy or not, it can be like super cheesy, as long as it's with like adult characters, or if it's gonna be younger characters, just make it about something else that maybe nobody else has done or barely anyone has done. Just the problem is that developers nowadays seem to play it safe. I think developers still experiment a lot, especially the AA ones, with battle mechanics or gameplay mechanics. They still experiment, and even some of the big names, you know, like Xenoblade, for example, they still experiment a little bit with the gameplay mechanics and battle mechanics. So I think in that area it's fine, you know. But I think the creativity needs to evolve when it comes to storytelling, because we've seen the same story a lot again. So that's my answer. Definitely my answer. Good question. Yes, I did complete Phantasy Star 4. Oh, the playthrough! I did it on my own. I don't remember what happened there. I think I put like 2 or 3 parts or 4 on YouTube, right? And then I said that I was going to do it on Twitch, but when I moved to Twitch, I don't even remember what happened, why I never beat that game live. But I did beat it, you know, just it wasn't live. And it was that version, the PS4 collection, Sega Genesis collection on PS4. That's the version of Phantasy Star 4 that I beat. But I don't know why it was supposed to be a full playthrough. I don't remember why I quit. Maybe I said it in the video, in the last part. I don't remember, Ryan. Why do you think people prefer 3D Mario over 2D? I think it's pretty even, you know. I think there's a lot of people who prefer, like me, 2D Mario over 3D. I don't know where you're getting that question. Do you think this year Square will do something with Chrono Trigger because of the 30th anniversary? Switch 2 maybe? Yeah. Like, I don't give a shit about that company and what they do with their fucking games now, because it's a political company that cares more about politics than money and creativity. So, but yeah, the answer is yes, they'll probably do something to celebrate the 30th anniversary. Oh, that's another topic, RC Laws. The voice actors nowadays are fucking mental, all of them, so we don't need them. Play everything in Japanese if you can. I'd say if a game nowadays has Japanese or Korean or Chinese dub, stick to that. Fuck the English dub in modern games. It's just garbage. I hope Expedition 33 is not trash. Isn't that an upcoming indie game? How many times do you think did God get to be killed in JRPGs? Not too many, you know. But it's a huge cliche. But Expedition 33 is not a JRPG. The question was about JRPGs. That game, it's something else. I don't think I agree with you, Zero Cool. Okay, maybe the Tomb Raider games on PS3, maybe, but the PS1 platforming in Tomb Raider in PS1, the original games, I couldn't disagree more. I don't see what people see in those games. I don't understand. I mean, I see the sex appeal of Lara Croft, but in gameplay mechanics, I never understood the love for Tomb Raider on PS1. I never thought they were bad games, but they just had a lot of issues, man. When I was little, I played it and I was like, the fuck is this? I don't like this. But to each their own. It's a popular franchise. Do you think an RPG where you play as a villain killing the hero who has the power of friendship will be popular? Yeah. Why not? Hey, Suikoden 3. Suikoden 3 says hello. No, they never kill the hero. You would love to see more JRPGs like Lost Odyssey. Exactly. With that, you mean in terms of storytelling, right? I agree. Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. It's a rebooted action RPG. No. No. Oh, Pancho. Actually, that's why I said AA, you know? Because in some AAA games, very few, but most AAA developers and indie developers, they just want to create, they just play it safe. They do the same we've seen before a million times. Hey guys, here's my Kickstarter. I want to make an RPG influenced by Earthbound. Or here's my game influenced by Chrono Trigger. Please support the Kickstarter, you know. No! Create something fucking original, man. Stop ripping Fire Emblem off. Or Chrono Trigger. Or Souls. Stop them. I'm not saying their games are bad, you know. Some turn out to be fucking great, but it's again. Enough! Enough! Yes, Tiro. I love the new Super Mario Bros. On Wii and Nintendo DS. Love the fuck out of that game. It's one of my favorites. The fuck is this, man? Oh, Crisis Core. I was like, this is badass. Great fucking song. Tomb Raider is like Shenmue. They aged very poorly, but in their time they were awesome. Well, I disagree with that, but okay. To each their own. Luke was always an asshole in Suikoden. He was. I like that asshole, though. He's one of my favorite antagonists of all time, actually, in JRPGs. Symphony of War. I never played that, but there's a lot of Fire Emblem ripoffs, you know. Kickstarter game inspired by Time and Eternity. Wow. That would be great, man, actually. Will you play Ninja Gaiden 4? Nah. What's your favorite Shin Megami Tensei soundtrack? Apocalypse. Yeah, Apocalypse is my favorite SMT4. SMT4 and Apocalypse. It's basically the same soundtrack. Just Apocalypse has a few new roles. I mean, few new songs and themes. You know, so Apocalypse. It's like it feels like the complete edition, the definitive edition of the SMT4 soundtrack. So that's my favorite. You know, you think Expedition 33 is gonna be woke? I have no idea. Ninja Gaiden also looks like that. Ninja Garden. Ninja Garden. That's cool. It's the first Q&A of February. I have an announcement to make. I know most of you couldn't care less, but I know there are people out there who care. So to those people, you probably already know, but I said before that I was gonna stream on YouTube, play games live on YouTube like very often for the month of January. Well, January is over. Things will go back to normal starting next week. And I'm only gonna be doing once a week for games. Q&A streams like today is gonna continue every Sunday. That's not going anywhere. But so before, during the month of January, I was streaming like 3 or 4 times a week on YouTube. That's over. It's gonna go back to normal. I'm only going to stream once a week, okay? My Twitch schedule will continue. I stream on Twitch, link to my Twitch channel in the description. I will continue streaming on Twitch every Tuesday and Friday. Okay, just those 2 days. Maybe if I feel like it, there's gonna be a third random day, but Tuesday and Friday around 5 p.m. Central Time, that's when I stream on Twitch. And that's gonna continue the same way from now on. On YouTube, I'm only going to play once per week. It's probably going to be Thursdays. If I can't, maybe I'll show up on a Wednesday or a Saturday. But it's most likely gonna be Thursdays, same hour, around 5 p.m. Central Time. Okay, that's my announcement. Only once a week. That's all I want to say. I'll turn this into some kind of clip or something, so people don't forget. To you, which JRPG genre is the most niche? Strategy RPGs? No, wait, roguelike RPGs. And when I say roguelike RPGs, I don't mean the modern action games, no. I mean like Shiren the Wanderer, like Chocobo's Dungeon, like Azure Dreams. I played that recently. Like the one you explore dungeons, with a character and you move, and the enemy moves, like Shiren the Wanderer. I think that's really niche. I mean, strategy RPGs are like really niche, but roguelike RPGs are like super niche, man. Those are the ones. But those type of roguelike RPGs, the ones are like basically turn-based. You move, the enemy moves, you move, the enemy moves, you hit, the enemy hits you, those. Because I know there's a lot of roguelikes done like that. You go around, and you hack and slash, and it's just randomly generated dungeons. I know one, Children of Morta, for example, that's a roguelike RPG. That's popular now. I think that's very popular nowadays. But the ones that I just mentioned, where you move on grids, that's that. Or, let me summarize this for you to answer your question. JRPGs where you move on grids. It doesn't matter which genre. Anything where you move on grids, that's super niche. Did you play Infinite on Discovery? Yes, I did. I haven't covered that game in a long time. I should cover it. Didn't I cover that? I made a top 10 called Top 10 Obscure JRPGs Worth Playing or Worth Checking Out. I didn't put that game there. I haven't talked about Infinite on Discovery in a long time. That's a good game. It's not great, or no. I remember giving the game an 8 out of 10, yeah. Great game, but just great. That's it. Nothing beyond that. Has a lot of problems, Infinite on Discovery. But it also has a lot of awesome stuff. I feel the same way of Tokyo Xanadu, actually. I have reviewed Tokyo Xanadu several times in my channel. Grade 0, cool. Oh, also, another announcement that I have to make. I already did this on the last Q&A, and I did this a few days ago this week. Most of you probably didn't notice, because most of you aren't fans of the podcast. But yeah, I do have a podcast here on YouTube. It's called That JRPG Podcast. There's been 11 episodes so far. But starting 11 episode, I made it exclusive for members or for Patreons. Actually, I think it's a bit better to become a Patreon because it's cheaper. I'm charging $1 a month. One miserable dollar per month. And you get access to That JRPG Podcast. It's one episode per month, it's $1. And I think the membership here on YouTube costs a bit more. I think it's $1.50 or $2, depending on your country. Because fucking YouTube is weird. I don't know why it charges differently depending on your country or your region. I don't know, man. Don't ask me. It's fucking YouTube. But Patreon is like $1 no matter where you are from, So, you will find a link to my Patreon page in the description, or a button that says join. And if you click there, you'll have access to some streams and videos that I've done in the past that are not available to the public. But you will also now have access to That JRPG Podcast. Okay, the latest episode was about Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. So it's exclusive for members here on YouTube, but also exclusive for Patreons on patreon.com, link in the description. It's $1 a month. Consider supporting my channel. It's important, especially nowadays. So, somebody was asking me the other day, like, what was the best way to support this channel, my channel? Patreon, definitely. Another option is with the super chats here every Q&A, or becoming a member, but Patreon is still the best one because most of the money goes for me, or PayPal. I think there's a link to my PayPal account in the description of this stream. But yeah, going back to the podcast, if you want to listen to the podcast, it's $1 a month on Patreon or $1 and something, maybe $2, here on YouTube. And you will get access to the JRPG podcast and a lot of other stuff, right? That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for listening. Back to your goddamn questions now. What do I think of Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero? I haven't played it. I played the first one and I couldn't get into it. Rogue Trader? What? I don't like mobile games. Why are you guys talking about mobile games? Do you really hate my announcements so that bad? That you gotta talk about fucking mobile games? Dreamcast's Rent a Hero is an RPG. I don't know. I mean, I know that game, but it never left Japan, didn't it? I've seen that game before. What do you think is the future of the Plants vs. Zombies franchise? I don't know. I'm not up to date with that franchise. I'm a big fan of the first game, but all the others I couldn't care less. I played the mobile game Plants vs. Zombies 2, the gacha game, and I was like, dude, no. Just no. Can you explain why Persona, especially Persona 3, is very worshipped by JRPG players? Because I haven't played it. I don't think Persona 3 is worshipped by JRPG players. That will be 4. Mostly 4 or 5. Persona 3 is very divisive. Half of the people hate it, and the other half love it. I can explain to you why I love it, but I'm too lazy because, you know, there's a million videos where I've explained why I love the game so much, and I'm pretty sure you can watch any of them. The first episode of that JRPG podcast is about Persona 3, so check it out if you want to. That's still available to the public. I don't know what's gonna happen to the first 10 episodes of that JRPG podcast. I don't know if I'm gonna make them exclusive for members or if I'll leave them public. I don't know yet, but for now you can still listen to the first 10 episodes for free. Thanks a bunch, Newcomb. What is the name of the first Shan Yuan sword? I don't know. I know it's a Chinese franchise, you know, that's been there since the 90s, and most of the first games were computer RPGs from China. Some of them got console releases, but we never got one until 7 and the Gates of Firmament, you know. Hopefully we'll get 8 if it gets developed one day, but I'm not that familiar with the Shan Yuan Sword series. And isn't the first game named just that, Shan Yuan Sword? Maybe it has a subtitle, I don't know, man. Do I know if it's the same game that was just released on December on PS5? Ooh, I have no idea. What? Really? Let me check it out, man. I don't fucking know. Shan Yuan Sword PS5? I have no idea, man. I know Shan Yuan Sword 7 and then Shan Yuan Sword The Gate of Firmament. Okay, The Gate of Firmament is not the first one. It's not even a number Shan Yuan Sword. It's actually a spin-off of the series. That's a good game, but it has a lot of problems. I don't see any other Shan Yuan Sword on PS5, so maybe... I mean, those two are not the first ones, Newcomb. Pretty sure. Yeah, I saw the trailer, Mr. Kid. That's cool. I haven't played the first one he released like years ago. What was that RPG review? The Chinese Lord 3D RPG? Isn't it Shan Yuan Sword? With Chinese lore? 3D RPG? I'm not sure. I don't know. Isn't it though? Isn't Shan Yuan Sword? I've reviewed both games. Maybe I should stop releasing my reviews separately. Just grab the clip from this or that top 10 and put it there. It's probably they're gonna be like 2-3 minute long videos, you know, but who cares? So people can find them more easily, you know. Thanks again for the super chat, Newcom. I played Shanyu on Source 7 thanks to you. A+. Yeah, it's a great game. My two only complaints with Shanyu on Source 7 is that the story didn't seem to be like super wow. I was expecting to get the story to get like wow, incredible, but no. It's a good story though, but it's nothing special, you know. It's okay. And the game's too short. You can beat the game if you focus on the main story of Shanyu on Source 7. Even on normal difficulty, you can beat the game in less than 15 hours. And, you know, I'm okay with that. You know, but for a game like that, I was expecting it to be a little bit longer. I was expecting maybe 20 to 25 hours, at least, you know. Those are my two problems with the game. But other than that, it's a really good game. Do you think horror RPGs can appeal to the younger generation? Since I couldn't give two fucks about the younger generation... No offense to anybody, any young people out there watching right now, but I'm sorry. Your generation is like... Chances are if you're young and you're watching this channel, you already know. You hate your own generation. I'm sure about that. So I don't care about the younger generation, man, so I don't even give a fuck about what appeals to them or not. We're not doing requests today. Unless you do a super chat. What do you think of Soul Sacrifice on the PS Vita? I never beat it. I think in terms of story, it was fucking awesome. Super dark. Very original. It's a great game, you know, but... The gameplay... I mean... It's just... People say it's like Monster Hunter, but not really. I see it more like God Eater. You do have a story, you know, and character development and stuff like that, you know, but then you go into the missions and it's like these small areas with a few monsters and then the big boss, you know, and it's super hard and every boss is like very different. I mean, that's what I like about Soul Sacrifice a lot. At the same time, that it's one of those games where it reinvents itself with every boss fight, but that's also what makes it so brutal. Because you barely survived the first boss fight, and now you're on the second boss fight. You have no idea what to do or how to defeat the boss. So you're there looking at a guy or something, you know. So it's an exhausting video game, man. It's a good one though. It's really good, but it's not the masterpiece it probably could have been and should have been. It has some issues, you know. And it's an exclusive to the PS Vita. I think that game would have benefited from a PS4 release. A lot. It's just the type of game that has no reason to be an exclusive to any system, in my opinion. You know, it's great. Hopefully, it will release maybe at least on Steam one of these days. But it's a good game. I like the story a lot. If that was an anime, I would watch the anime instead of playing the game. What's up, guys? The chat is completely quiet right now. Would you agree that Chinese and Korean RPGs look more like Western RPGs than Japanese RPGs? No, a lot of them don't. I don't know. Korean RPGs, look at Magna Carta 1 and 2, Crimson Gem Saga. Those look more Japanese than anything. But then there's fucking Kingdoms of... what's the name? Kingdom Under Fire. The Kingdom Under Fire games, I think there's like 3 or 4. I have one on the 360. Those are Korean RPGs, and those do look a little bit more like Western RPGs, you know. But then Chinese, I don't know much about Chinese because the large majority of their games are fucking free to play, and they use anime style, Japanese anime manga style, you know, for their games like Genshin Impact, Honkai, Rail Star, whatever the fuck it is. They look, yeah, so I'll say they look more to JRPGs than Western RPGs, but I don't know that much about them. You know? A lot of Korean RPGs are like MMO RPGs, and they look more anime-ish than anything, so. Yeah, Stellar Blade. Well, actually, Stellar Blade is like in the middle. Like in terms of graphics and stuff like that, it looks totally looks like a Western RPG. But look at the girls. Look at the cactus design. It's just overly beautiful, man. That's more Japanese than Western. Western RPGs, 9 out of 10 are always like super fucking ugly. And I don't mean just nowadays. This is something since the fucking 80s, man. Late 80s Western RPGs or 90s, and the characters look fucking atrocious. Horrendous fucking people, you know. Horrible visuals, you know, Western RPGs. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of Western RPGs that look like, yeah, the girls, you know, like The Witcher 3, for example. Okay, you know, but you know what I mean. But Stellar Blade is more like in the middle, like in terms of scenery, you know, backgrounds, ruins, dungeons, you know, they look more Western, but the characters themselves look very Eastern, if you catch my drift. So Kingdom Under Fire, there's one on the Xbox 360 called Circle of Doom. Because I think the first two games, and they were released on the original Xbox and PC, I think, those are like strategy games, but Circle of Doom is an action RPG. Starring a really sexy and beautiful elf. Well, it's got other characters, you know, but who cares about them? That's a good game. I should stream that one day. If I ever get the Xbox 360 emulator working, I'll stream Circle of Doom. That's a good game. I've talked about that game. I reviewed that game a long time ago in a top 5 Korean RPGs, I think. But that's like the only time I've covered it. Should talk about it more often. Do you think the Suikoden and PS1 disc will get cheaper once the Suikoden remake comes out? Oh, okay, the games, the original versions, do I think they're gonna get cheaper? Here's the thing. If the Suikoden remasters end up being awesome, with no fucking alterations to the dialogue or no woke bullshit, then yes. Because then people will prefer those versions over the originals. And a lot of influencers and reviewers are gonna go out and say, yes, play these games, play the remasters over the originals, you know? And that's gonna make the originals drop in price. But if the opposite happens, if the remasters end up being bad or full of fucking agendas or bullshit translations, then a lot of people are gonna say, no, stick to the originals. And that's only going to make the originals go more in price. So we don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, we need the remasters to come out, but they are remasters, they are not remakes, okay? They are remasters. Big difference. That's a good mentality for JRPGs. Zero cool. Datch, I don't think so. I don't know. It's just what I said. Look, listen, Star Ocean, the second story. It got a remake about like a year and a half ago. Didn't it? Less than a year and a half ago, like a year ago. Star Ocean, the second story. Before the remake came out, the original PS1 version used to go for like $80. $100, man. And now look at price charting. Ever since the remake came out, which everybody praised, including me, the original PS1 version dropped in price. You can find it for like $40-something according to pricecharting.com. You can find copies of it on $45, $50, $60 on eBay, I'm pretty sure. So, like I said, if the Suikoden remasters end up being great in all areas, chances are the physical versions will go down in price. The problem is Suikoden 2. Because Suikoden 2 had a limited print run from the beginning, so it's always been rare. The game was released, and it's been rare since day one. So, that one might not drop in price that much if the remaster ends up being great. But the first one, I think it will drop in price if the remaster ends up being great. It's all a matter of how people perceive them. If they're bad, or if they're like woke or something, you know, a lot of people are going to prefer the original. They're gonna be like, fuck this remake, fuck this remaster, I don't wanna play it, you know, I'm gonna stick to the originals. So, we'll see what happens. You know, it's an interesting. First Last just became a patron. Welcome everybody. I mean, welcome First Last. Thanks for joining Patreon. Hey Shinji. Jennifer is top tier. Yes, she is. Especially naked. Me too, Jaybird. Me too. Do you think hard games are more in fashion nowadays than they were 15 years ago? It's because people like to flex their skills on the internet? Yes. Playing games on hard mode or playing hard games has become such a big trend nowadays because we were talking about this before, how difficulties seem to be better depending on the generation, you know? But yeah, definitely, because I think there's been a lot of... If 10, 15 years ago, there were a lot of complaints that games were getting easier. And a lot of the people who grew up with Atari, NES, SNES, Genesis, you know, we grew up with that. But I wasn't one of those people. But a lot of people started saying, oh, games are too easy. NES was hard. That was the shit. So there were a lot of arguments like that. So the newer generation started feeling like humiliated maybe, or bullied, you know? And then they were like, you know what? Let's ask developers to release games, release harder games, or to release hard modes. You know what I mean? So I think that's exactly what happened, and that's why developers started creating more and more difficult games, or making their games harder. I've also discussed how I think a lot of developers, modern developers, don't know how to make their games hard, you know, but yeah, I think hard games or hard modes in games have become a trend because people want to just boast online, I guess, you know? Hey, I beat this game on hard and put 120 hours, and it's like, no one fucking cares. Get a life, dude. And maybe these people have nothing to boast about. They're like, oh, my life is shit. So the only thing that I have achieved in my whole miserable life is that I beat Ys 9 on Nightmare mode, or Trails in Nightmare. Great. So most people don't give a shit, you know, but there are people like that, you know. Hard games are a meme now. Why? Why is it a meme? That's just how I see it, though. You know, I always had a problem with those people. Actually, many years ago, I made a video entirely dedicated to that. It's called Video Game Elitism, and how people just boast about and make others feel inferior because they play games on easy or normal mode. And they're like, oh, you play the game. Why do you feel the need to tell people on the internet that you play the game on hard and you put 150 hours? Don't you think actually that's a bit pathetic? Shouldn't you challenge yourself more in real life? And why would you put so many fucking hours to a game? Dude, really? And then these are the very same people saying that they have a lot of backlog. They, oh my god, have so many games to play. These are the people who usually get excited for the next new game, and they have like a million games unfinished in their backlog, you know? Why? Because instead of using those 100 hours into 3 RPGs, they put them all in one, so they don't have time for the others that they bought. So it's fucking stupid, man. This is a topic we've discussed a million times in the Q&As. I'm kind of tired of it. Could you imagine Gears of War and Halo on PlayStation? I couldn't care less. I'm not a fan of those series. If that ever happened, I will be like, okay. Oh yeah, Sleepy Gamer. They're always like that. They're always like that. It's always like, I got stuck into this boss fight. I don't know how to beat this guy. It's super hard. And then you go into GameFAQs, and there's like you go there. People go there. Hey, what do I do? I'm stuck with this boss. And usually someone replies, you know, like, oh, you gotta do this and that, or try this and that. Well, there's always that one asshole saying, what are you talking about? That was a super easy fight. They're trolling, man. Well, they're fucking losers in real life. Great, Tetsuo. Thank you for sharing that story with us. No one gives a shit. Okay, Phantonium. That's what you were asking. Okay, so I don't really have a strong opinion on that. It's just that I've said this before, but I think the era of exclusivity is over. I think it's stupid. Games shouldn't be exclusive. It's bad for business. It's happened to every major developer out there, that if you want to sell more, put your game on as many consoles as possible. Don't just limit your game to one console. It's just nowadays I feel it's fucking stupid to release your game exclusively on one system. It's just dumb, It's bad for business. I will put my game anywhere. But then all fucking companies have a lot of censorship policies nowadays, so I get it when a lot of developers release their games only on Steam. That's a different conversation of what you were asking. When it comes to AAA developers and stuff like that, I think it's stupid to release your game on just one system. Everything should be everywhere nowadays. It was good for business back then. People will buy your console, but nowadays it's just the era of exclusivity is over. There's no point in releasing anything exclusive to anything unless you're that small studio that doesn't want your game censored by PlayStation policies or Nintendo stupidity. So then you're gonna make it exclusive to Steam or Xbox. I don't fucking know. Unless you're Nintendo. Yeah, but Nintendo has gotten to a place where it doesn't matter. Mario, Zelda, it's still gonna sell millions. They don't need their games on PlayStation or Xbox. Nobody needs Mario on fucking PlayStation, and they know that. Which forgotten JRPG do you think should stay dead? Ooh, there's a series that I've been doing live here on this YouTube channel called The Worst JRPGs Ever. There's been like 12 episodes so far. There you got 12 answers instead of just one, Shinji. Yeah. Golden Sun, sure. Maybe Golden Sun should be one of those other New Year resolution games for me. Give them a second chance. A third one, actually. Golden Sun is a game I played twice, and I was like, nope, not for me. It's good, but it's not for me. Maybe I should give Golden Sun a third and final chance and really stick to it this time around. Maybe I should stream the game. I've never streamed any Golden Sun games. Never. Maybe I should stream Golden Sun. Yeah, maybe I'll do it live. We'll see what happens. Neptunia needs to die. It probably never will. Nowadays, all of those companies can go fuck themselves, Daniel. I used to be a PlayStation guy, but nowadays it's like fuck those companies. They're all garbage. Which RPG do you think developers need to take more inspiration from? All the dark and mature ones. Lost Odyssey, Eternal Poison, Code Vein, Parasite Eve, Death End Request 2, Shadow Hearts, all of those. Nier. You found Golden Sun kind of boring. It's there's just barely anything special about it, It's got great visuals and it looks beautiful. And the music's good, but gameplay-wise and storytelling is like your average RPG. There's nothing special about it, I don't think it's boring, but I don't think it's like super great either. It's just I think a lot of the fans of that game are like nostalgic for it. It's like Lunar fans. The Lunar fans are the same. You play Lunar and it's like, okay, the game's good, but there's nothing special about it, But unlike Golden Sun, Lunar came out many years before in 1993, so it was special, one of the first JRPGs of its kind with that kind of cheesy charisma, power of friendship storytelling, And then Golden Sun came out 10 years later when those cliches and tropes were already established. We didn't need one more game like that. But then the good, interesting, unique thing about Golden Sun is that it's a duology. You know, you got two games taking place at the same time. You know, that was fucking awesome. I think The Lost Age, Golden Sun The Lost Age, is the better game. Because you basically play as the bad guys, you know. So, had Golden Sun just been the first game and that's it would have been like, yeah, it's okay at best. But it's got the duology feature and that's what I think makes it special, you know. But I'm just that guy who needs to play the first one first before the other one. So, I like to start in order. So I'm gonna have to get over Golden Sun 1 if I ever wanna beat The Lost Age. Thanks for the super chat, Ryan. I can't play anything from Super Metroid, man. Well, actually I can. Yeah. Actually, I can, yeah. I think there's just one Metroid game. So most of the Metroid games are like copyright, but I don't think Super Metroid has any. What's the song? Brainstar Underground Depths. Alright. So this is it, right? This is what you wanted me to play? This is the song you wanted? That's it? Okay. Classic track? Okay. You usually miss the live stream? Sorry? Why? Mina Gomez. What did you say or something? Oh, have you played Star Ocean? Yeah, I played them all. I've done videos on the games, on Star Ocean games. I've reviewed all of them at this point. $5 track, says Boof. Okay, this is fine. It's good. Pretty chilling. No, this is Metroid. This is Super Metroid. It's called Brainstar Underground Depths. Depths. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty chilling, you know. I like it. What JRPG got you into JRPGs as a whole? Chrono Cross. Any tips on Round of Swords? You made it to the final boss. You should give me tips, man. I never beat the fucking 9th or 10th stage of that game. Yeah, I'll stream that game. I'll see if I can stream it. Super hardcore game. Alright, so that was like Brainstar Underground Depths. Okay, we're gonna go back to Oninaki. Thanks again for the super chat, dude. Eric, speak in Spanish, please. No. Wanna see me speaking in Spanish? I have a channel in Spanish. It's called Discusión Gamer. Just look it up, Discusión Gamer, on YouTube, and you'll see me speaking in Spanish in like hundreds of videos. That's right, Fantonium, but that was back in the day. I said the same thing. Exclusivity was great back in the day, but nowadays it's pointless. Except for Nintendo. if a JRPG has no gameplay, then it's not a JRPG. What kind of question is that? Is that a rhetorical question? I think in both. Poof. Anybody who's bilingual is basically it has the same problem, and we often forget words in both languages. Even though we know the words, sometimes we think in like, boom. We want to say something in Spanish and we forget. And people usually hate us because of that. They're like, sure, you forgot the word in Spanish, right? Because you know English. It's true. I'm used to thinking, in both languages all the time, And I speak in English. I'm a streamer. I'm not just a YouTuber, I'm a streamer. I speak English half of my time. So there are words that I often forget in both languages. It's hard. It's a pain in the ass. But I do think in both languages. Langreaser, Fire Emblem, or Ark the Lad. Fire Emblem, I'm a diehard. Hello Kitty Island. I'm not playing that. And now, Jose. Most of my viewers are from like the US. Is there a lot of English speakers where you're from? Here in Mexico? I think there's a lot of people here who know the bare minimum of English, Most people don't speak English here. Or don't understand it. They just know the bare minimum. Well, thankfully for me, Zero, I use both languages every day of my life. So, which is a problem. Customize. Your birthday is a Mexican holiday. That's the Independence Day. No, Daniel, I don't. Trump is cleaning up? What? Cleaning up what? Okay. His house? He's doing the laundry? He's mopping the floor? Is he doing that? He's cleaning up? Trump should clean up the fucking evil corporations like YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. He should clean that. He should clean social media up, just like he promised. Look at Facebook, man. Fucking hypocrite, Mark Zuckerberg, like going Joe Rogan and saying, the government forced us to do DEI and censorship. So what are you gonna do now? More DEI. That's the solution for Facebook. Great fucking asshole. How long do you think these video game layoffs will continue? Well, for a long time. No Baldur games, that's a terrible fucking game. Don't play it. And Nis America destroy the localizations, no. Nobody here hates corporations enough. Well, it's just corporations are a necessary evil. If we kinda start hating them enough, maybe it'll come bite us in the ass like it happened to me. Aren't I a perfect example of don't hate a corporation too much? Or you're gonna get fucked like I did? Banks, YouTube, there are this is still what I do for a living. This is a necessary evil for me. It's just we need better people in charge, That's all we need. Any video game you would like to turn into a movie? No, never. Video games, movies based on video games are always bad, especially nowadays. Will you be playing Monster Hunter Wilds? Foxhound, you already know I'm not a fan of Monster Hunter. I don't know why you're asking me that. Maybe I could stream a multiplayer JRPG. Maybe with Oscar, I don't know. We done that in our channel in Spanish, But a multiplayer JRPG? like, I don't know, say fucking Dragon's Crown or something, you know, but in English, in this channel, that would be interesting. Maybe I'll talk to him about it. Maybe it can happen. Thanks again. Thanks, Sleepy Gamer, for the super chat. Will you ever play a visual novel? You mean live? I've played visual novels before. I'm not a fan, you know, but I played some before. Maybe I should stream Sakura Wars. That game I'm always going on about, you know, on PS2 and Wii. I love that fucking game. It deserves a stream. Maybe I'll do that one. The Sonic movies are okay. I haven't seen them. Did you ever play a Tales of game with someone else? Not to completion. I made some videos called precisely that, top 10 best multiplayer JRPGs, or more like couch co-op JRPGs. I did a couple of videos on that, and I tried a lot of them with Oscar. This was like 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, I think. Can you put your other channels in the description? They are there. You can't see them? They're there. Pretty sure they're there, man. There they are. It says my PayPal, join here to support my videos, Patreon, I'm an author, my books, and then follow me on Twitch. There's my Twitch channel, my blog. I also have a second channel, and there's a link to it. But the channel in Spanish is not there. Fuck. Wow. All these fucking years, man. And I never put this fucking channel in my videos. Thank you. I'm gonna put it right now. My channel in Spanish. There we go. It's now available in the description. My channel in Spanish. Click the link. Okay. Thanks, man. I was like being an asshole and then, were you fucking blind or something? My channels are there. But not that one. What is the best game to start the Atelier series? Any of them, man. You play one, you've played them all. Pretty much. Well, actually, it depends on the type of gamer you are. If you're like more traditional, like you grew up with the SNES, PS1 JRPGs, I think you should start with Atelier Iris. Because they're more about the adventure than the synthesis and then the dumb, cheesy girls, tomboy girls, you know. So, but if you want to get into the slightly more modern Atelier games, you know, like Ryza, Rorona, start with any. They're all the same game. Did you play Sakura Wars for PS4? Yes, and I streamed it. Great game, I love it. I know. But I think it's easy. Just open a tab, you know, type Sakura Wars, Eric Landon, and I'm pretty sure the stream will pop, you know. And I've covered that game several times. Actually, I haven't talked about Sakura Wars on PS4 in a while, you know, but I have reviewed the game a lot in the past. I don't have an Instagram. I have no social media. I don't like social media because it's overtaken by politics, you know, and toxic people, you know. So I have no social media. Do you have subtitles for your Spanish channel? No, only the CC feature, the AI translating what we say. And I've seen some people using it and they tell me it's pretty funny. No subtitles. We don't make money from that channel, man. I'm not gonna go to in fact, we don't even add gameplay footage anymore. We used to, back in the day, you know, but nowadays, my channel in Spanish is more like a podcast. Like, Oscar and I record like an entire long session of 1 hour or an hour and a half, you know, of videos. And then I cut them into different parts, you know. It's just basically a podcast, you know, format. I mean, you're not gonna see 1 hour long videos in there, you know. It's just the topics, the different topics, you know. But there's no money. Look at the views. Go into my channel in Spanish and look at the views, man. Do you think I'm gonna bother adding subtitles? or gameplay footage, of what we talk about. It's just no. It's a conversation channel. It's a podcast channel, basically. Isn't there a new Ys game coming out soon? No. We got the remaster of Odin Felgana like 2 weeks ago, maybe? And that's it. Or are you talking about like Proud Nordics, which is a definitive edition of the one we got like 3 months ago? You can try the Somnium Files. No thanks. Why is my friend not in this channel? Because number one, this is what I do for a living, and this is in English, and it's just me. And he's not a fan of JRPGs. Top 5 tomboys in JRPGs. I don't know. There's a lot of them, man. No, I still haven't played Black Myth Wukong. Because I want to get it physical, but it's too expensive yet. So I'll just keep waiting. Yeah. I'm based because I deleted my social media. Did you enjoy games like Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning? Yes, I've covered that game before. Every time somebody asks me about my favorite Western RPGs or if I play them, I bring that game up. So, yeah, I like the game. I'm a fan. Remember, people, if you want access to that JRPG podcast has become private. It's for members only and for patrons only. You want to become a member and listen to it? Click the join button right below me, or in the description of this stream you will find a link to my Patreon page. It's cheaper to support me on Patreon. And it's better for me, Patreon if you want to listen to the podcast. And I also have other tiers in there. $3, you get access to the chat. $5, you get access to Eric Landon Uncensored. I've done 34 episodes of that. And by becoming a $5 Patreon, you get access to all of them at once. I doubt most of you will have time to listen to all of them in 1 month, but you can do that if you want to, Link to my Patreon page in the description. Support me there. And you will get access to my podcasts, including that JRPG podcast. I just released an episode based on Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. An entire podcast episode based on that one game alone. It's on Patreon and here on YouTube in the join button. Join button. What is your most memorable acquisition of a rare game in your collection? I've told that story before. I answered that question a lot of times, man. Basically, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Xenosaga 3. I got them for free, pretty much. I made a video on my second channel called My Holy Grail JRPGs. If you click on my second channel, that's the video that shows up immediately. So, there we go. Tons of cool stories in there. Great game, Unicorn Overlord. I made a review on that, Asia. Deleting social media is incredibly based when you consider what they do with data and privacy leaks. Well, that's what I did. If you make a top tomboy JRPG tier list, Kid will be number 1. Probably. Yeah, the funny thing about Kid is that, sure, she's a tomboy, but she's like, well, yeah, actually, yeah, she will be number 1. If I couldn't play any more RPGs, which genre would I default to? Well, platformers, fighting games, environmental puzzle games, shoot 'em ups. Thank you, Tier, for the super chat. Yeah, I play a lot of video game genres, Boof. I mean, I've seen you in my Twitch streams. I think so, so you already know I play a lot of genres. So. Yeah, if RPGs stopped existing, I will be very sad, you know, but they're always gonna be there. But if they magically disappeared, I will be heartbroken, you know. But I will still have all the other video game genres that I love. Fighting games, platformers, you know, hack and slash, beat 'em ups. I love beat 'em ups, you know, so there we go. Anyway, thanks again, Tier. Are you Tier because Tier McDowell from Suikoden? What JRPG you regretted buying the most? Final Fantasy X-2 on the PlayStation 2. Nah, I got that for like $2 a long time ago, and I still have it. I can't get rid of it. I'm selling it for $5. $5. PS2. Nobody wants it. I wonder why. That's because it's such a common game. Everybody has it already. The people who want that game in their collection, they already have it. No, let me think. Shin Megami Tensei 5. Well, I don't regret it because I love that fucking game, and I made a review of it, and I got my money back, but I bought it on day one, you know, and then like 6 months later, it dropped in price a lot, and that hurt. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is another one that I bought on day one for the sake of the review. Because I never do that. Those are the only two... Oh, Super Mario RPG Remake. Those are the only 3 games that I bought on day one because I needed to review them. They were a big deal to me, you know. I don't do that anymore, but back in the day I used to. So, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is still kind of expensive, you know, so... Super Mario RPG, I got it cheap. Luckily, I bought it for like $50, I believe, brand new. It did come down in price a bit after that, but I mean, it's not like I regret buying it because I love the fucking game. So it's gotta be like a JRPG that I paid money for and regretted. Oh, now I remember. And it's a clip on this channel. You know, you can find my rant about that experience and the answer to your question in this channel. It's called Time and Eternity. Which is the hardest boss you ever fought and felt like a massive orgasm after beating them? Oh my, I don't know. Matador. Matador in Shin Megami Tensei 3. That was an orgasm. I'll never forget how I beat the motherfucker and I screamed with all my heart and soul, like, yeah! How many games out this year are on your way to play wish list? I'm guessing none. You're guessing right, none. Until I make sure there's no agendas, then I'll put them on my list. Do you own a Super Famicom? No, I do not. How do you feel about Yoko Taro and his darker, more unique kind of storytelling? I'm a huge fan, man. I've praised his storytelling many times before. All video games are an RPG. All video games are RPGs. Oh, sure, all of them. Do you remember playing Monarch? I do. That's something you do not forget. Xenoblade 2 is also expensive and hard to get. Nah, it's still a $50 game. It's not... Where are you from, Tier? Your super chat said CEK. Maybe it's really expensive in your country, you know. It's kind of expensive in mine too, actually. Here in Mexico, Xenoblade 2 is... All Xenoblade games are like $60-something because of import taxes and shipping, you know, so, yeah. Sweden. Oh, okay. It shouldn't be that expensive, come on. How much is the PAL version, though? You talking about the PAL version? No, Eikichi. I can't. No, I'm not looking forward to that, Jose. I don't... Well, Gung-Ho is in East America, but I don't know. Just gonna have to wait until the game releases. Nope, Tekka. I haven't. I think at this point I probably never will. I just don't care about modern games anymore. No, I don't think Drakengard 1 should get a remaster. It needs a remake. That game... They need to fix the controls and the combat from zero, from scratch. What's this? Deadly Towers? Oh boy, that's a horrible game. But this music is alright. Don't fucking play this fucking piece of shit. I'm gonna stream... I'll stream this game. So you see, it's bad. Terrible. Ah! Now I'm curious, how much is fucking Xenoblade 2 on Europe? I can't resist. I'm always interested in video game prices. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The PAL version, according to price charting, sells for $40, $39.42. Maybe because of the import taxes and the shipping, it's expensive in Sweden, but PAL version is $40, man. I'd say it's maybe not cheap, but still affordable. $40 still affordable. I just did an entire top 25 a few weeks ago on PS2 JRPGs. Some of them are like between 35 and 40, still kind of affordable. So, I don't know why you say it's expensive. Maybe $40 is expensive. Yes, it's true, Asia. Nier was developed as a Drakengard 1 spin-off, and it became its own series. So it's like Persona. I still see Persona as part of the Shin Megami Tensei series, even though it's become such a huge fucking series of its own nowadays. In what price will you buy Expedition 33? First, I gotta make sure it's got zero woke garbage, and once I make sure of that, I'll probably get it for 25. 30 maybe. Horizon Zero Dawn, I played the first one a long time ago, but I only played like for 2 hours. It was alright. But I'm glad I didn't play it, and I'm glad I didn't become a fan, considering how horrible the franchise became after that. But yeah, the first game is good. I just don't have a strong opinion on it. I only played it for 2 hours. Do you mess around with a lot of ROM hacks? Not really, just Fire Emblem hacks. I mean, I mess around with a lot of Fire Emblem hacks. Especially the Game Boy Advance hacks. I played a lot of them. Enough to make a top 10, But I played the Chrono Trigger hack, the Crimson Echoes hack. It was alright. It wasn't like wow. It was decent, But I haven't played that many hacks of other games. There's one Suikoden 1 hack. Never mind. Explaining the hack is a spoiler. So. Well, it's not really a spoiler. Let's just say Odessa is one of the main characters now. That's all I'm gonna say. I'd like to try that out, But Fire Emblem hacks, my favorites are Requiem, Road to Ruin. Those are my two favorites. Yeah, all the others have been great too. There's one called Pride and Justice. I know those words nowadays. It's got nothing to do with the modern definition or pseudo definition of those words nowadays. Well, Tier, don't buy it in Amazon. Try to look for it on your retro stores or on eBay. Don't buy on Amazon. It's pretty simple. Just because they're steel cases, man. That's why they're more valuable. It's dumb. But they have nothing different. No, GTA boy, I was just saying that I have no interest in getting any video game on day one. I don't know. Hacks and mods, the same thing in this context? I don't think so, no. Hacks is an entirely new game with... I don't think so. You're welcome, Foxhound. Me too, Phantonium. Namco, same. All fucking companies, man. They will double down. They'll try to do as much damage as they can before getting fucked in the ass. When are they going to get fucked in the ass? I don't know. Hopefully soon. Yes, Seikichi, probably. Nintendo is all about censorship nowadays. It wasn't before. I made a video called Why I Love RPG So Much. And another one called Why I Love Strategy RPG So Much. I remember doing those videos. On the difficulty scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Code Vein? 9. Yeah. It's such a tough bastard, man. 9, maybe 8.5. Does that make sense? 8.5. Let's leave it at 8.5. FF6T edition. I've never played that. Is that a hack? Oh, okay. It's a hack. Fine. Are Persona 1 and 2 will be better to have a remake of those games? Well, yeah. If you want them with full of DEI bullshit, then yes. Have you seen the Sonic movies? Nope. I did that video, Jose. And it has a lot of views, actually. It has like 50 or 60,000 views. I don't even remember. Last time I checked, it had a lot of views. But I made that video. I'm not that interested in Final Fantasy hacks. Like, I don't know. Like, I prefer Fire Emblem hacks, you know, or Suikoden hacks. Which one do you like more? Is 9 or 10? 9. 9, definitely. Which retro generation of JRPGs have you been playing a lot lately? None, actually. I just finished Skies of Arcadia on GameCube last night, and today I went back to Shin Megami Tensei 4 on 3DS. And before Skies of Arcadia, I was like, you know what, it's just all of them. PS4 and below. That's what I'm giving preference to nowadays, but I haven't like no preference. I've been doing a lot of games from different consoles. Been doing a lot of variety streams on Twitch. Nah, just buy the original, Daniel. I don't think it's worth buying the steel cases unless they are on the same price. If you see them for the same price or the price difference is like $2, you know, okay, get the steel book case version, you know, but it's like the same fucking game. Is Tales of Grace SF the longest Tales game after Zestiria? Is it really 80 hours? I have no idea. I beat Grace SF on the PS3 and I put like 40 hours, maybe 50 hours max, you know. Zestiria, I think I did like 30 something hours because I focused on the main story and ignored everything. It's not a great game. It's not a bad game, but it's not a great game. It's not worth putting a lot of hours into Zestiria. That's how I feel about it, you know. You wait for a video, Donsk. You wait for a video. Games, any RPG is as long as you want it to be. You can put 5,000 hours into it if you want. Games are not that long. I also made a video called RPGs aren't that long. These people make them that long, you know. And I proved in that video how you can beat any RPG without speed running it, you know, in like 40, 50 hours, 60 hours max, you know, and that's a stretch, you know. It's just... Will you stream Star Tropics? Maybe on Twitch. No, they shouldn't stop making open world games, but they should do them less often. Talking to NPCs doubles the time in most games. Yes, and doing side quests, exploring everything, grinding, playing them on hard. Yeah. Yeah, very long. I don't know, Jonathan. I've never 100%ed a game, especially modern. Hey, Luke. Cosmic Star Heroine, that's a wonderful fucking game. You should play it. Don't just watch the playthrough, play it yourself. It's a great game. Nah, I wouldn't like to see another Rogue Galaxy game. I'm fine with the first one. What's the shortest RPG you've played? Well, there's a lot of RPGs from the NES. They're like 2 hours long. I have made a top 50 shortest RPGs ever made. Check it out. You'll see 50. When are you playing Lies of P? I don't know. I don't know that game. Isn't that a Souls-like or something? What JRPG will fit well in another genre? I think I did something similar called What Games Should Get an RPG or something. And I remember mentioning the Castlevania games and BlazBlue. I'm not gonna play Thousand Arms live. I'll play it on my own, thanks. There's not gonna be a part 2. Thinking of buying the collector's edition. How much is the collector's edition of Cosmic Star Heroine? Because that was a limited run games release. Don't give money to that company, man. They're horrible people. Super woke. Unless you see it in a reseller or a retro store for like, I don't know, $100, then okay, that's fine. That's right, Donsk, about Rogue Galaxy. You did leave some room for a sequel. I like both equally, just as good. Super Mario RPG SNES or the Switch remake, I think I like both equally. You know, I don't have a preference. I love them both. Are games in Mexico in Spanish or just Spanish subtitles? Depends on the game. A lot of games are getting more and more Spanish dubs, but only the AAA ones. Most of the others only have like Spanish subtitles. Most games have Spanish subtitles, not dub. More horror-themed JRPGs. Yeah, we need that. Hello, Noah. You're late. I'm leaving. Got any games like East to recommend? Which East games? The modern ones or the retro ones? I was just playing a few days ago one called Brave Prove, which well, that's more like a mana game. Feels more like a mana game, you know? Yeah. Check out Brave Prove, fan translated PS1 action RPG. I like that one. It's good. Are you going to play Doki Doki Literature Club Plus? Sure! Yes! Definitely! By all means! What do you think of Guacamelee? That's a good side-scroller platformer. I played it before, you know, it's good. I liked it. Have you seen the Hannibal TV series? The one from like 10 years ago? Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I didn't like that they race swapped this Lawrence Fishburne, you know, but yeah, I liked it. Great fucking show, man. One of my favorite shows, Hannibal TV. That was a great one. I hear Breath of Fire is like Ys. You heard wrong. Breath of Fire is turn-based. It's nothing like Ys. Will you stream Senran Kagura games? I did one on Twitch a long time ago, and I uploaded the stream to my second channel on YouTube. You can find it there. No, I've never seen an anime called Secret Level. I don't know what that is. Democracy. It's a game. There's a game on Switch called Democracy. All right, everybody. That's it for today's Q&A stream. I had a great time as always. Hope you guys had a great time too. Remember, link to my Patreon page in the description. And there's a join button if you want to continue listening to that JRPG podcast. It's there. It's now private. It's no longer public. And also, I won't be streaming that often as this month on YouTube. Q&As will be every Sunday, don't worry, but the regular live streams It's only gonna be once a week on YouTube from now on, so take that into consideration. So see you in the next live stream, guys. Take care. Twitch Tuesdays and Fridays around 5 p.m. Central Time. You know, that's Twitch from now on. My Twitch live streams from now on. Take care, everybody. See ya.